I love traveling. I love going to new places, and I especially love fishing at new places. And that's what we're going to do on this week's episode. I've never seen that lake. We're going to go see if we can catch some fish out of it anyway, and you're invited to come along because Fox Sports Outdoors is on the air right now.
You're watching the only program with weekly fishing reports and real-time outdoor news from the Southwest region. This is Fox Sports Outdoors.
Hi everybody, the show goes on the road today. Glad to have you along with us. We've driven a long way from where I live, and we are coming to you from as far north in Oklahoma as you can go and not go across the border into Kansas. Now, we're traveling today with the beautiful Tracker Pro Team 195 40th Anniversary Edition. I love to fish out of this boat. It travels well, it'll go anywhere, and on today's show, we are gonna take it out there. There is beautiful Kaw Lake. It's located east of Ponca City, Oklahoma. Now, it's on the Arkansas River. It's got a couple of big major arms to it. It's got lots of creeks coming in. It's got some really deep water down by the dam. It's got some shallow water. It's got lots of different species of fish. Tons of channel catfish. It's got largemouth bass. It's got white bass. It's got crappie, and it's got big hybrid stripers in it. Now, we're going to concentrate on the crappie fishing on this week's episode out there and give you a few tips, a few pointers that just may help you go to your favorite reservoir and put some crappie in your live well or fish basket this very weekend. And we may catch a couple of other species out there today. It's just going to be a lot of fun. Got kind of a cloudy, overcast day. While we're out doing that, we're taking you around your local region for this week's fishing reports from our expert team of insider reporters with this week's reports, both fresh and saltwater. Right now, my Tracker Pro Team 195 40th Anniversary Edition goes into Kaw Lake for the very first time. Next time you see me, I'll be out there. Let's get things started right now, back at the studio with your weekend planner.
The Salooner forecast is pointing to Saturday as the best option for fishing over the weekend, with game fish activity listed as good, while Sunday is projected to have fair conditions. The peak times on Saturday are forecast to begin at 2:30 a.m. in the morning and 2:55 p.m. in the afternoon. Expect the sun to rise at 6:53 and set at 5:29. And nights will feature a waning moon that is only 10% illuminated. Stay with us, we've got fishing reports from across the area on the way. Plus, I'll return with Bassmaster angler Jacob Wheeler to answer this week's Ask the Pro question. Back in a bit.
Fox Sports Outdoors is brought to you by Motor Guide's new wireless and easy-to-use XI3. XI batteries powering the world forward. Waypoint Marine, the Gulf Coast's leading saltwater boating specialist. And Strike King, designed by the pros, fished by you.
Be a crappie. Oh, good crappie. Good crappie. Good crappie. Big crappie. Hey everybody, we're still at Kaw Lake today on a gorgeous day. Very light wind. Driving around out here, I don't know if you can see the buoy out in front of me, but I've dropped a marker buoy on a brush pile. There's one right there. Let's see what this is. Be a crappie. Oh, good crappie. Good crappie. Good crappie. Big crappie. All right, look at that. There is a big old crappie. Holy mackerel, look at the size of that, will you? Man, oh, my little Bobby Garland baby shad. Look at that dude. That's when I drove all the way to northern Oklahoma, almost to Kansas, to catch a great big crappie like that one. Holy mackerel, look at that. I'm gonna have to put some in the live well now. I wasn't planning on keeping them today. I'm just kind of scouting around a little bit. But I tell you, some of these are gonna have to go in the live well right here. Real deep. You can see my buoy sitting out there. I'm just off the river channel. It's 60 feet deep right out there in front of me, and it comes up to 20. And there's some scattered brush on top of that ledge. And that is a great big one for you right there. That one's going in the live well. Hang with us. Gonna drag around here keep that jig right on the bottom and in contact with whatever brush I can find. And I'll show you what a couple of the shots of this brush look like, just so you know, on my Lowrance Hook 2 unit here. But just subtle brush, not giant brush piles, just little pieces of brush, and it's plenty to hold great big crappie. Hang with us, we'll see what else we can catch.
Hey, don't you dare put that fishing tackle away yet, because if you do, you're going to miss out on some really great fishing here in Oklahoma in the upcoming weeks. George Tolson went to Grand Lake last week, where the fishing has been somewhat tough on the typical fall pattern techniques, but he mixed it up somewhat and had a really good outing there. He was using a chatterbait with a biffle bug trailer, and he found the bass that were on the shoreline side of the docks in about 2 foot of water. He also had some good success fishing the cuts, main lake areas that were behind the points that were protecting those little cuts from either the wind current or the water current. He said if his bait hit the water and shad flew, anticipation was high because that's the situation where he was finding and catching the bass. Good numbers, good size, anywhere from keeper size up to about 4 pounds at Grand Lake. I think you can use that technique elsewhere in Oklahoma at this time. Eli Smith did some experimenting around the Tulsa area on some of the smaller public waters looking for crappie. Had good luck using the new Bobby Garland Slab Hunter Minnow Monkey Milk Color 16th ounce jig head. And he said he was catching the fish from 8 to 18 feet, but more important was the depth, was the fact of keeping that jig tight to cover, whether it was rock, wood, or the brake lines. 16th ounce jig head had to be close to cover. You can catch them in Oklahoma right now, but you can't catch them if you don't go.
Man, we are catching them. I am catching them one right after the next. There's another one. I mean, I am getting hammered by catfish, big crappie. There's a big white bass. There's another fish I haven't caught yet until now. That pretty much makes it a grand slam. Man, it has already been one whale of a day out here. There's a giant white. Only thing we haven't caught is one of their big hybrids here. Man, this lake has got lots of species of fish in it, and they all want to bite at one time right now. This is really something. I have hit on the mother lode. You know, it's funny, I struggled some today. I was fishing too shallow most of the day, and once I backed off and started fishing deeper on these deeper brush piles, I immediately started getting bit. Here's the other thing I found. You need to pay attention when you're fishing like this in a brush pile. These fish are all suspended above the brush. They're not down in it. I can drop it all the way in the brush and I don't get bit, but I lift it up above the brush pile and immediately one hammers it. So all these fish are just swimming around. They don't always have to be right in a brush pile. They can be off to the side, they can be over the top of it, they can be on the bottom, but they don't necessarily have to be right in the brush to relate to that brush. And these fish are right above it every single time I pull it up. This is really fun here at Kaw Lake. Wow, that's a good spot. So there is another species for Kaw Lake. Hey everybody, welcome back to the show. As you can see, we're still on Kaw Lake, but we're in a different boat. I want to explain about that, but we've actually pulled up onto a sandy point right here in front, and we saw some fish come up on top schooling. So we're just kind of making some fan cast in here. Is that a fish? That is one, yeah. Right on top. That's a big white bass too. Look at the size of this dude. Wow. Man, they've got huge white bass in Kaw Lake. Now, I'll tell you, these aren't your little baby whites. These are big, fat, solid, dark-colored, beautiful fish right there. Well, so here's the deal. As you saw, we began the show fishing out of my Tracker Pro Team 195 40th Anniversary Edition, which I love, but got here about halfway through the day and hit a couple of big waves, and well, I won't go into a lot of detail, but caused some problems. The wind got up real big. So we had to go in and get some service done on the boat, and it needed to stay in for a couple of days to get some parts in. And so we took it into the Boathouse Marine right in Ponca City. And I met Dwayne Howie, who owns the place. He's had it for many, many years. They're a tracker dealer, and they put us in this Guide V 175. It's a nice boat, really deep, lots of room, takes big waves well, and we needed it today because we, again, got out in some big waves. But again, just a big shout out to Dwayne Howie and the Boathouse for helping us out right here in Ponca City. So if you're gonna buy a boat and you're in Oklahoma, do me a favor and go buy it from my buddy Dwayne, because he really helped us out. And we've been able to get back out here and catch some fish. Gonna slide over and try to catch a couple of crappie in a minute. I'm gonna get out in that big water, those big waves here in just a second. I'm protected behind this sandbar right now, but there's some big waves, but I know where some brush piles are and some spots that I want to give a shot to. So hang in there with us. We'll try to catch a few more. I love Kaw Lake. It's a beautiful place. Got tons of fish in it, all kinds, and we're just having a great time, and we're able to still fish thanks to Dwayne. We appreciate you, buddy.
Hey friends, Captain Kevin Broussard here with your Fox Sports Outdoor Report. We're talking Louisiana, both fresh and saltwater. Tell you what, we're getting into the fall pattern, early winter. Right now at Toledo Bend, your white perch are starting to transition back to some deeper water. And I tell you what, bass, up shallow, spinner baits. A little later in the day, you can catch them in 5 to 8 foot of water on the outside of the grass, outside of the little brush piles. I tell you what, seems to be the best key. Saltwater fishing right now, when these little fronts blow through, north wind drops all the water out the marshes. All your bait fish are coming out. Redfish are stacked up. I'm telling you what, I talked to Bill Lake in Houma, talked to Brett Ortiz down around Breton Sound. Lots of redfish getting caught, and I tell you what, still some good catches of trout. Live shrimp under a popping cork seems to be working best. Rockport Rattler jigs, 1/8 and 1/4 ounce with some scented soft plastics, seem to be doing good there too. Tell you what, main thing, fall pattern, get out on the water, catch you some fish, and have a good time. For Old Cajun Phil's, Captain Kevin Broussard saying happy fishing and may God bless.
You got him?
Yep.
We got fish schooling around here.
Good.
And this is my brother Terry, and I just picked up the camera because we had fish busting around. What is that? That's a spotted bass. Hooked under the chin. Look at that dude. Wow, that's a good spot. So there is another species for Kaw Lake. They're schooling again right here. Wow. If you can get back out there, you can catch another one. Look at that. Cool. Big spot. Huge bunch of fish schooling out here. They are going crazy right there. Got him. There you go. Got him? Yep. This is my brother catching them one right after the next. We have found some Kaw Lake schoolies. I tell you, when you come fishing at Kaw, you just catch whatever's here, whatever you catch. We've caught everything today. What's this? Big white bass. That's one of those great big ones. They have some of the biggest white bass on this lake. Look at this big dude. Wow, that's cool, dude. Hold him up a little bit. There you go. Look at the size of that dude. That's a big whopper white bass. Man.
There we go. Look at that sucker.
What do we got?
Looks like a largemouth.
Another bass. You are a bass catching dude. This is brother Terry, the cameraman. That's a big spotted bass. Holy cow, that's even a bigger one than the last one. I can't believe you can flop that big dude in the boat. Look at the size of this dude. What a great spot. Man, that's a big old spotted bass, no matter who you are or where you're from right there. Man, you are a one bass catching cameraman.
Fox Sports Outdoors is brought to you by Nitro Performance Fishing Boats. Champions aren't born, they're made. Mercury Outboards, go boldly. Gulf Shores and Orange Beach, Alabama. Plan your fishing vacation and catch the details at orangebeach.com/fishing. And Lowrance and the new Hook 2, the world's easiest fish finder.
Oh, it's a good crappie. That's a good crappie. There we go. Hey, as you can see, we're still out here on Kaw Lake, and it's turned windy on us. We've had some sort of a little front roll through here, and we are bouncing, rocking, and rolling. And I pulled up on this brush pile, and you can see right here in front of me, I've got 2 marker buoys out marking the brush. And I found this actually driving around yesterday practicing, and there were a lot of crappie on it. There's one right there. They were really stacked on it. Let's see if that's a crappie. There was other fish in here as well. Ooh, buddy. Now the wind's got me. Oh, it's a good crappie. That's a good crappie. There we go. All right, there's a fish. Good one too. Boy, that's a good sized slab for you there. Caught him on a little Bobby Garland 3-inch slab slayer. I don't use that big 3-inch one very often, but I got tipped to that. Leon Mears, who fishes this lake all the time, he said use these big ones and the good sized crappie will hit it. Well, we're fighting some wind, and I'm having to do it the hard way. I'm having to use a manual trolling motor and just hold us right on that brush. The real key is, though, if you can just get right on that brush and feel the brush. You actually want to get hung every once in a while. You want to lose a couple of jigs, actually, because that way you know you're touching the brush. You want to actually touch it, and that's where the fish will be hanging real tight right on the brush. We are keeping crappie, by the way, so I'm going to put him back there in an ice chest that we've got going. But I want to show you again the quick shot of what this brush pile looks like. But it's just a big hump of brush, and it's literally out in the middle of the lake. You can see there's nothing anywhere around here that would indicate brush. Now, I don't know if it's man-made or if it's just maybe a big tree that used to be there and broke off and laying on the floor of the lake or what. That's really the pattern here at Caw, is find these brush piles and you'll find the crappie. All right, this one goes in an ice chest.
Hi everybody. This week's Lone Star Lakes is once again brought to you by the good folks at Breckland Ranch. Whether you're looking for a hunting retreat or a corporate outing or even a wedding, Breckland Ranch has the services you're looking for. Now this week we're going to talk a little bit about rain in some of our lakes. Recent rainfalls have given many of our lakes high water conditions, including Lake Texoma. The rains brought the lake to 13 feet above normal pool. That has since receded to about 6 feet above pool, and the lake is very fishable. You can get on the lake, but you need to be careful. You need to watch for floaters. Debris that's been brought downstream into the main lake and may be floating at or just under the surface. The striper bite, however, is fantastic. Use your electronics or watch the birds on the main lake to cue you in to where these stripers are holding. They're feeding on shad, of course, but you can probably get a good bite on topwaters early, and you always have your lead head with a shad body or your spoons for these Texoma stripers. That's this week's Lone Star Lakes, brought to you by the Breckland Ranch. Be sure and check us out, Lone Star Lakes, on Facebook.
Hey folks, Captain Greg Worm here with this week's Fox Southwest Outdoors Report. Hey, the month of November is here, and while many outdoorsmen and women put their fishing poles up, head to the woods to hunt, November is a fantastic month to go fishing. Less pressure on our bays here on the upper Texas coast, falling water temperatures, and hungry fish. November is the month of the flounder. Here in Galveston, the most targeted, and with good reason, is the channel between Pelican Island and Galveston Island. There is access for non-boaters to wade and also many fishing from a boat. Hey, live mullet and scented soft plastics both work equally well. Another great way to fish for flounder, and since we can no longer gig during the month of November, hey, nighttime sight casting to flounder. Get out there wading with a bright headlight or from a flounder gigging boat and sight cast soft plastics to the flounder laying on the bay floor. On a good night, hey, I've had 7 out of 10 that'll bite. Hey, also redfish and speckled trout are feeding great in West Galveston Bay. Confederate Reef, Greens Lake, and the Cut, and also over in Chocolate has been great. 2 to 6 foot of water, live shrimp under a popping cork, soft plastics and topwaters are all working excellent. Hey, remember, if you want to fish, flounder gig, duck hunt, or go offshore, and remember, we have affordable lodging at Bay's Landing, check out our websites or call the number on your screen. Hey, I'm Captain Greg Worm. I'll see y'all next time.
You can always watch our latest episode on the front page of our website at foxsportsoutdoors.com. Catch up on past episodes by clicking the archive button and learn about fishing techniques and new gear at our how-to page. Follow us on Facebook and Twitter for new fishing videos every day. Simply search for Fox Sports Outdoors and click the like button on Facebook and follow button on Twitter. And watch a new episode every week on any device by downloading the free Waypoint TV app on your phone, tablet, computer, or smart TV. Fox Sports Outdoors is brought to you by Lew's. Feel the difference. Gene LaRue and Bobby Garland. We know bass and crappie from heads to tails. And by Glacier Glove. Stay outdoors longer with our gloves, hats, and shades.
Welcome back, everyone. It's time for the Ask the Pro question. This week, Gary asks, what is the first technique you think someone new to bass fishing should master? For the answer, we asked Bassmaster Elite Angler Jacob Wheeler.
Start out simple. Don't get too crazy. There's tons of lures out there. I mean, you go anywhere you go, there's lots of different things. You go to a tackle shop, you have hundreds of choices. Pick a couple different things. Pick your standby, a jig, a crank, shot running crankbait, and a topwater. And try to learn those free techniques. Go to those places, those ponds nearby your house. Some of the best fishing that we have is in these retention ponds close by to our cities. I grew up in Indianapolis, and Indiana's not known for our bass fishing. That is just not one thing. We're known for basketball, but we're not known for bass fishing. And so I would go to those retention ponds and catch these fish on a jig or a buzz bait or a rattle trap, and I would learn that technique. And so then when I would go fishing on another place that might not have as many fish, I knew how to fish that bait and I knew I was doing it right. So that's what I would do. Go to places that have a lot of fish, and learn those techniques and then move on to the harder lakes.
Thanks, Jacob. If you have a question for one of the pros, visit our website, click on the Ask the Pro link, and send it in. Now, stay with us to see the latest Big Catch of the Week winner.
Back at the boat ramp, it's time right now for someone to get their big fish photo shown on television in the Big Catch of the Week contest. Here is this week's winner. He is Isaiah Cantu of Corpus Christi, Texas, with a 56-inch mahi-mahi he caught in the Gulf of Mexico out of Corpus. If you'd like to be our next winner, just go to our website at foxsportsoutdoors.com, click on the Big Catch of the Week area on the right side of the homepage, and follow the instructions to send us your big fish photo. Next up, I want to show you a little bit of the gear we used primarily to catch the crappie out of these brush piles. It begins with a 6-foot medium light action Wally Marshall Pro Series Lew's rod, perfect for jigging these brush piles. Had it paired with the Lew's Wally Marshall Signature Series spinning reel. And then for the bait, this is a little different bait than I normally use. This is the Bobby Garland Moglo jig head in a blue color, and I had it paired with the Twilight color Bobby Garland 3-inch slab slayer, and it worked great to catch those good crappie out of the brush piles. I always wear my Glacier gloves. They are water resistant, they are breathable, they dry quickly, they've got some leather on the palms for gripping, they're fingerless for tying knots. They keep the sun, the wind, and the fish teeth off my hands. Someone close to me passed away not too long ago because they wouldn't go to the doctor. They finally went, and by the time they did, it was too late. We'll call a roofer when the roof leaks, we'll call a plumber when the plumbing's broken, we'll call an electrician, but many folks just won't go to the doctor. Much of it is the fear of what might be wrong, but it's much better to go and face it and get some medical attention before it's too late. I spend a lot of time in the sun, and I go to the dermatologist on a regular basis. In fact, you may have noticed I've been undergoing some treatments lately. Go to the doctor if you need help, because the consequences of not doing so can be catastrophic. Thanks for joining us for this week's episode from beautiful Kaw Lake in northern Oklahoma. Special thanks to Leon Mears of the Bobby Garland Pro staff for helping us find some of these brush piles and getting on some of these fish. And special thanks to Dwayne Howie of the Boathouse Marine in Ponca City, Oklahoma for rescuing us, putting us in a really nice boat, getting us back out of the water really quickly. I love this boat. You might want to check it out. And if you're going to buy a boat, get it from the Boathouse, Ponca City, Oklahoma. Until next week, I'm Barry Stokes. Be safe, have fun. Bye-bye, y'all.